My name's Peter Simcoe. I'm a freelance video producer, designer and photographer. This presentation is called Autónomo, a virtual designer's adventures in reality. Let's start by providing some context to my talk. As a freelancer working with digital media, the first question I considered when developing my company ethos was, will I specialise or provide a more broad selection of creative services? And then I asked, how broad is too broad? In my case, I offer video production, graphic design, photography and VR-related media services under the company name Simcoemedia. You can see my website for more information on the sort of work I do at www.simcoe.co.uk. My company philosophy is to focus only on the activities that contribute to the development of core visual design. To put it another way, never get distracted by developing detailed knowledge in areas that require years to master. As an example, if I try to become an internet security expert to ensure my clients' websites are safe from hacking, I am learning skills that effectively set my career back 20 years. So in this instance, I would work closely with someone who had the necessary skills but maintain a general knowledge, and that's important to note, a general knowledge of internet security, so that I can understand the issues that I need to address and communicate with specialists in the field in an effective manner. In terms of software, I can honestly say that I use around 60 to 70% of Adobe's Creative Cloud offering on a regular basis. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, InDesign, Illustrator, Audition, Bridge, After Effects being the most common. I also use Dreamweaver occasionally for some of the web work that I do. In addition to all of this, I love playing electric guitar and I love recording music, so I also have music recording software such as Propellerhead's Reason, and I also use Audition with that. So when I'm playing bass and synthesizer and programming drum patterns, all this contributes to the creative output. One thing I never do is sing, and that's for everyone's benefit. So how is this relevant to my work in VR? Well, my VR skill development is part of a creative business and personal design development model that provides opportunities for working with a wide variety of clients, from Airbus and Toyota to SMEs such as sign manufacturer Greenbarns to Loughborough University. And emerging technologies are part of this corporate strategy, so to be aware and even practicing in these areas provides an advantage, a head start if you like. In terms of VR project work, I've worked with Humanized Technologies in Israel as a content provider and product tester. This included music videos, one of them featuring ambisonics, and tourism projects using their Views Plus and Views XR cameras. In 2018, I released a book via the Amazon bookstore called 360 Video Handbook, which provided an overview of techniques for recording 360 video using consumer and prosumer level cameras, including Views Plus, Samsung Gear, and Kodak Pix Pro. These were the main consumer and prosumer level cameras at the time. In addition, a variety of editing techniques are discussed along with important technical information that provide the reader with enough knowledge to be able to enhance the video quality of their video and overall VR experience. During the same year, as I briefly mentioned earlier, I was commissioned to create a music video integrating ambisonics, a sound format that allows the user to experience audio within immersive environments in a similar way to the real world. In other words, the sound appears to be placed in specific locations, and as a person's head moves to view a different point of view, the sound changes. One of the most successful experiments I did was the One More Chance video. This used a combination of EL wire and Google Tilt Brush to create a 3D 360 music video. Essentially, I recorded myself miming to the song I created, and I mimed 4 times, one for the bass, one for the drums, etc., guitar, singing. I have to note that my good friend Alex Eddy is actually singing, but I played all the other instruments so I knew what I was doing. I then superimposed all of these and used transparency, so only the light wire was visible on the video. This was then composited onto the background exported from Tilt Brush in 3D 360. Google's Tilt Brush is one of my favourite apps because bringing drawings to life in 3D is magical for me, especially as a designer. I spent years at university sketching product ideas and thinking in 3 dimensions. Suddenly, it's possible to actually draw in 3 dimensions and move within the space. This is a big step for any visual artist, and if you haven't tried Google Tilt Brush or something like Gravity Sketch, both free applications, then you should really indulge in this experience. The equipment I use for my VR 3D and 360 video exploration is fairly straightforward. I use an Oculus Quest 2, which is used with and without the tethering cable to enable PC VR gaming. I use the computing capability of my i7 PC with an NVIDIA 3070 graphics card. I also use a Views XR for 3D 180 and 360 video. I use an X-Phase Pro S2 for 360 images and a Zoom H2N for ambisonic audio capture if I need that. In terms of gaming in VR, I do actually play some of the Oculus games occasionally, but oddly it's the freebies rather than the purchased games that are most intriguing. For example, Aircar, available on the Oculus Store for PC VR for free, sets up the kind of environment and vehicles vividly represented in the 1982 Ridley Scott film Blade Runner. Whilst this game has no objectives as such, it's simply about immersion in the futuristic city and exploration using your flying vehicle. And quite frankly, that's more than sufficient entertainment in itself. So just to recap, I'm giving an overview of my business model, ethos, and explaining how VR fits into the creative work I do. But let's take a closer look at the world of gaming graphics and immersive experiences. I'm mainly concentrating on the more emotive VR experiences, such as the creation of visually realistic environments. We could look at engineering, architectural and training uses, but VR gaming in relation to culture and tourism is a more relevant angle. To give a ballpark illustration of where we are in VR and the current generation of 4K graphics, I'm going to use Microsoft's Flight Simulator 2020 and Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2 as examples. Let's take a look at where we are with gaming graphics using Red Dead on a 4K flat screen. Here you can see the sequence I've put together using cinematic mode and normal third-person gaming mode using my PC with a powerful Nvidia gaming card. Whilst this game is now almost 3 years old, it does represent the current generation of games with incredibly involved design and comparatively stunning visuals, all aiming to create a realistic Wild Wild West world. The only thing that lets it down is some of the character features such as faces look slightly fake occasionally, and some of the walking movements a little odd when climbing over objects. But Rockstar's technical achievement is a milestone. I'm just going to let the video play some more so you can see a bit more of the graphics. Trees, water and buildings carefully modelled to provide realism in a variety of lighting conditions. Weather conditions and the movement of other characters in the game are amazing. To be honest, I enjoy the exploration aspect of this game and rarely get too involved with the missions and the characters. Going for a digital walk just doesn't get better than this, and the sunsets can be spectacular, all easily accessed from my sofa. Of course I'd rather experience this in real life, but this is as good as it gets on my PC. Whilst we are looking at consumer level products rather than industrial VR headsets, the Oculus Quest 2 is one of the most versatile and accessible gateways to your VR experiences on the market. There are other headsets, and there is the whole Facebook issue to contend with that concerns some consumers, but we're only focusing on graphics capability as it's a reasonable measuring stick in this circumstance. If we look at MS 2020 in the standard 4K mode suitable for viewing on a monitor or TV, we're looking at gameplay making significant progress towards photographic quality. It's not quite there yet, but considering all of the elements involved in flight modelling, photogrammetry required to represent reasonably accurate landscapes, and the level of detail, we're talking about another significant technical achievement. Here you can see some amazing landscapes, clouds, and a flight model that really feels like the plane is in the air. Let's just take a look at the graphics for a bit longer. As you can see, the software really does provide an immersive and realistic environment. Now let's compare 2D 4K to the VR version of this game. Remember, you're now experiencing all of the visual and audio within the Quest 2 headset via the PC tethering cable. Now this is in full 360 degrees in 3D. Everything has depth as if you really are flying the plane. This is not exactly a side-by-side comparison, but you get the general idea of where we are and the challenges faced by VR developers in terms of creating realistic, immersive experiences. As you can see, there's a real difference in the quality, and bearing in mind that my Nvidia 3070 is one of the higher-end graphics cards, it demonstrates that there's a way to go yet before we reach photographic quality. Let's just take a few seconds to look a little more at the game. So this simple demonstration shows how far we have come and how far we have to go in terms of VR gaming experiences and photorealistic environments. Hopefully this video has demonstrated how it is possible to integrate VR work into your everyday skill set as a freelance media producer, and how exciting the future looks in this field. I just wanted to conclude my talk by asking a few questions related to VR and the world of digital media in general. And these are, firstly, does digital interaction and connectivity on social media, including social VR games, make us any happier in our experience as human beings? Do the positives outweigh the negatives if we consider the rise in online aggression and abuse in general? Secondly, will climate change and the effort to reduce our daily energy consumption and waste affect the use of VR technologies? So as we build more powerful VR-capable machines, they require more energy to run them, especially industrial-level VR machines. So will there be a move to cap computing power? One factor in this discussion is the move towards more cloud-based processing, and this may include VR experiences at some point in the future. My final question is, will the internet become more regulated to increase user responsibility through the use of, say, an internet passport linked to our actual passports as an example? If implemented, this will affect our VR life as well as more traditional social media activities. I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video, and I hope that you gained something from it. If you would like to see more information about the sort of work I do, please go to my website at www.simcoe.co.uk. You can also find me on Twitter at Simcoemedia, or you can see YouTube videos at youtube.com/Simcoemedia. Thanks very much.